What's going on, YouTube? We are live. We are live. How y'all doing tonight? Hope y'all doing all right. Want to say welcome to all the new subscribers to the channel. You know you are greatly appreciated. Man, I just am wanting to talk a little bit about something I've been thinking about for over a year now. Really should have been thinking about it longer, but hey, it is what it is. So tonight we're going to be talking about free speech, the attack on free speech, the war on free speech, and even if there is one. So that's what we're going to do. So let's get right into it today. Once again, I want to say thank you guys for coming through tonight and blessing me with your presence on another edition of Aaron EBM Live. How y'all doing tonight? Hope you're doing all right. I'm not doing too bad. Not doing too bad. You know, every day above ground is a good day. So I hope you all are feeling the same way. If not, life is too short to be worrying about the little things. So tonight I want to talk about the war on free speech and if there even is one. You know, this is one of those things that you really don't pay attention to until you start getting older, until you start getting to the point in your life where, speech really matters. I'm from the age of, I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm a millennial. I'm a older millennial. So I come from the age of, do as I say and not as I do. Your parents telling you that, being seen and not heard, and basically with that being instilled in you, it's people don't realize how much of this stuff, of that kind of training, sticks with you your entire life. So that being said, when you get to the point of being old enough to pay attention to things like free speech, it doesn't really bother you because you're trained not to even want or to even have the ability to exercise free speech, which is why I myself am big on training children to understand and learn how to have free speech and have free talk, free think, and free talk without being disrespectful. Um and a very important skill, a very important asset for anybody to have, and it's good if and it's great and it's a great thing to be able to teach a young child into their adulthood, because from if you grow up in the hood, if you grow up in the community, it's just something that we are lacking. The communication skills to be able to talk, to be able to, just freely express yourself without being berated or being made to feel like you're doing something wrong all the way together. Let's see. I'm gonna put up the banner tonight. So, free speech, is it a war on free speech? Is it a war on the ability to talk and say what you want to say without being completely and utterly attacked for your free speech? Now, you would think that it wouldn't be like that in today's society, because what we live in today, an age of where everybody supposedly can get along. Everybody is supposed to be able to talk to each other. Everybody is supposed to be able to accept each and every one of the people that we come in contact with. Right? That's what society is telling us. That's what they're telling us. We're in the age of acceptance. We're in the age of being able just to let everybody live and let everybody live their life unapologetically. Right? But I've seen different. I feel and I've seen the different. It's one thing to say that you feel a certain way, and it's one thing to actually, and it's another thing to actually be through it or go through it and actually see the reality of the thing. And the reality of the situation that we're living in right now today is only certain people and only certain viewpoints are allowed to be unapologetically, or to live and to be expressed unapologetically. Everybody else and everybody, no matter what umbrella you're under, is attacked. Everybody is. You can't, and for the most part, it's everybody that goes against the mainstream, liberal, talking points or agenda. If you have a talking point that is any way, shape, or form different than what is shown by, let's say, Dr. Phil, Oprah, any of the women that are on TV that express those viewpoints. If you're outside of that umbrella, if you do and say anything outside of what they want you to do or say, then automatically, your speech is limited. And they swear up and down that your speech is not limited, that we all have free speech, but there are consequences to the speech that you say. And I can agree with that. I can agree, and I can say that, okay, your speech is not, yes, you are free to say what you want to say. Yes, you are free to, in a country that you are free to express your feelings and your what you have on your mind, and without being totally and utterly crucified by the government. And that's one thing. But it's one thing to say that, and it's one thing to turn around and objectify the people that are speaking against the things that you are or that you do not like. See, everything is okay. All speech and free speech is okay until you say things that people do not like. And most of the time, you guys know that it's the one way aggression. You know, it's okay for them to tell you that you are a misogynist. It's one thing to tell for them to tell you that you are a hate monger. It's one thing. It's okay for them to curse you. It's okay for them to do whatever they want to do to you. But Lord forbid that you tell them any kind of way that you think, or any of your views that does not go along with that said agenda. Now, hold on. I got a Let me share my screen. Something I was looking at mediocre tutorial reviews the other day, and I wasn't even really paying attention to it until, I really wasn't paying attention to it until I started thinking about this subject of free speech. Now, this is a clip that he had. I'm not going to play it because I don't feel like going through the fair use thing, but this is a clip from Eight at the Table. And it was the average conversation between man and a woman, and basically how it goes, the double standard of women wanting to have traditional men and still be untraditional themselves. You all been there. If you've been around the space, you know what I'm talking about. But I looked at the back, And if you pay attention to the back of the screen on her poster, on this poster, it said no sexism, no racism, no ableism, no ageism, no homophobia, no fat phobia. Would you look at that? No transphobia, no hateful. You can't really see it, but you can guess. No hateful something. No judgment, no judgments, or no judgment. Some kind of some shape of the form. You understand what's going on. So we're living in a time to where they, the people that are saying none of these isms, can turn around and then give you every hate or give you every backlash or give you everything that they don't want if you break any of those no crossing or no red, no isms, um any of the things in this background. If you break any of those things in this background, then all of a sudden it's open season on you for saying that. And you see it all the time. You see it all the time when somebody, like the case that happened. I can't remember where exactly it happened, but it was about the naked trans man that was in the women's spa, and the women didn't like it. They felt uncomfortable, and I think Auburn Preach covered it. But rightfully so. The women felt uncomfortable. They had little small children in there in the women's spa with them, and if it was my kid, I would feel the same way. Now, that being said, one of the ladies that was complaining or having a hard time about the situation was attacked, brutally by the people that were on the outside, on the trans man side. And I don't, you think about it, the people that tell you that you need to be, open, and you need to love everybody, and you need to accept everybody, are often the people that are trying to uh stop you from having your free speech. It's funny that the people that are wanting you to be open, no matter what the opposition is, no matter what the subject is, it's often the people in this day and age that do the most oppression. We talk a lot about oppression, and but we never talk about how those people that actually disagree with you are the most oppressive people that are out there in this day, age, and time, are the most dangerous, or the most brutal. Even let me see, who was the other person that actually had that issue? I think it was remember who that was. Who was that? God, I can't remember the little guy's name. But anyway, he was talking to the I think it was a marine, a trans woman that was actually a marine, and then he was calling him a woman or something like that, and then he on national TV said, threatened him with beating him. Threatened his life, telling the guy that he was going to walk out there in a body bag if he continued to call him a man. So it's okay for that person to threaten somebody that was actually saying how he felt. Now you could say, well, you get what's coming to you if somebody asks you not to do something like that. But in the end of the day, we live in a land that has laws, rules, and regulations, and all that stuff like that. But but that all goes out the window when you're going against the status quo, when you're going against, you know, mainstream thought pattern, and when you go against that mainstream thought pattern, you're actually a threat. And then everything else that comes to you or happens to you, they say that it was well warranted. You know, you know, I seen think who was it? Tommy Sotomayor. That was one of the other ones that I saw. Tommy Sotomayor. And no matter what he says or what he does, if it always goes back to somebody flagging his channel and him getting taken off, or one of his channels getting taken off of YouTube. And this is what I don't understand. You people say that, look, yeah, you got free speech, but that's the consequence of free speech. Well, I tell the people, who are you to judge out the punishment. Who are you? Who are you? That makes you judge, jury, and executioner of a person because they are practicing their the free speech. That's the consequence of somebody's free speech, is you know, trying to cancel them or terminate them. Or no, when does the end come? When does the end come? You know, if I always practiced, you know, if I don't start none, don't be none, you know, and I mind my own business and I live the same way. If I don't like what a person is saying, if we can't talk or we can't have a civil discourse, then I leave that said person alone. I do not come and bother that person. But what I'm seeing now in this culture that we live in today is no matter what that person doesn't like, they will follow you, view your content, no matter if it's on what platform it's on. They will come and then get triggered by the content that they don't like, instead of saying staying away, and then try to silence you for your speech, for your ability, for your ability to say what you want to say in this country. Now we live in a country that we are afforded to be able to do these things. We're afforded to be able to talk. We're afforded all of these things. But then the people, the very people that want all this freedom and love all this freedom and take advantage of this freedom, are the ones trying to cancel each and every person that they come in contact with that they don't agree with. You know, it goes all the way back to, you can even put it at Trump. When Trump got banned from Twitter and different social media sites, you know, everybody was, ecstatic. They was happy that they got somebody that they didn't like, canceled and taken off, and took their ability to way to say what they wanted to say. But I tell people that that is dangerous. That is extremely dangerous. And if you continue to let things like that happen, when does it come to a time to where you're in your bed at night and your livelihood is somewhere in this cyberspace, and then you wake up in the morning and all of your social media accounts and your business accounts are terminated because somebody didn't like what you said? Now, this even goes for Alex Jones. If you listen to Alex Jones, a lot of people uh, don't, because of his views. His views are, I enjoy and I appreciate people that go outside, the government, and kind of show everything for what that is. I might not agree with everything that person had to say, but yet I appreciate that person having the ability to say what they said, and then we can all, take what we can take out of it. But the same thing happened to him. They didn't like what he said. Was saying. They said he was practicing hate speech, and he was gone. Okay, that's all good, right? For the people who didn't like him. Now you fast forward, and then what else happened? Minister Louis Farrakhan got all his accounts taken, off of social media for practicing hate speech. Now, how can two people drastically different from one another, Alex Jones and Minister Louis Farrakhan, get along, talk to each other, because they had several meetings with each other, and then they get completely canceled? Both of them. One person is extremely right, and the other person, is on the opposite side, but a lot of their views are both conservative. See, that's some other people don't really take a listen to and really pay attention to. It's the people that you don't get along with a lot of the time are actually the people that you will have a lot in common with, but your people are too busy focused in on the little bits of pieces of stuff that they don't really enjoy about each other, and decide to war, feud, or try to take each other out. Try to take advantage of the fact that we're living in the age of cancel culture. Living in the age of where you're triggering me, and if you're triggering me, you deserve to get taken off, not you removing yourself from that triggering content, or that triggering work, or whatever you want to call it, not pulling yourself out of that situation, but instead you decide to take that person out of your presence because you can't handle your fragile feelings, can't handle the emotions that you're going through, because that person is saying something that just doesn't feel right in your spirit, no matter if the context of what he's saying is, or she is saying, is totally true or right. It doesn't matter, because it just doesn't make you feel good. That's where we live. That's where we're living at today. You know, we're living in a day to where I can't say that my views. I can't say that I am a heterosexual male. I agree. This is what I agree with. A, B, C, D. If I say that, I'm a misogynist. I'm a hate monger, and then my stuff is canceled. But then you go to Twitter, and then all the women on Twitter are saying, let's you know delete all these white people, or let's do this to these people, or posting everything and anything they can and not get canceled on there. It's two things going on. It's the women being able to say what they want to say, and it is the actual whole left side of the field that are being able to say what they want to say unapologetically, and everybody else are the people that are getting completely snuffed out and shut out because it just doesn't make people feel good, and it's just not what the actual left want people to do, because they want and have a plan for what they want America to be, and it's completely and utterly under the control of a new age of government. You guys need to pay attention to what's going on. This is bigger than me liking what you say, or you not liking what I say. This goes all the way to being able to control a mass of people, and the people that the government are supposed to be working for are the exact people that are helping usher in this age of complete and utter one way thinking and one way control. And if you don't see it, you're blind at this point. If you don't see it, you're blind. How else can we, or a body this big, control people unless we have a one way standard of thinking, a one unchallenged by any side. This is going, a gospel, if you will, and people completely hand over the freedoms in order to have that safe space. That cannot happen unless the people, the sheep that are wanting this utopian type world, which you will never have. You give up your whole freedom, you give up everything in order to have this perfect world where nobody hurts your feelings, and you look up one day and then you got rations on how much toothpaste you can buy, or you got rations on what kind of movies you can buy, or you have constraints on how you talk or the tone that you use. How many of you have heard the tone of people nowadays saying that they don't want you to have this tone? They don't want you to do X, Y, Z, or all this other stuff. Or what's the other one? Even Twitter, even not Twitter, that but TikTok came out with their code of conduct and rules and regulations that they have now, and one of them was no misogyny. I need to look that up since I don't want to. But it was no misogyny was in there. And I got, yeah, TikTok guidelines. Even YouTube has the guidelines, but this is here it is. Let me move it over here. All right, they got minor safety, which is fine. Dangerous acts and challenges, suicide, self harm, disordered eating, adult nudity and sexual activities, bullying her and harassment, hateful behavior. That's another one. What is hate? Hateful behavior, violent extremism. Go up. Get this thing to move. All right. Yeah, violent extremism, integrity and authenticity, illegal activities, regulated goods, violent and graphic content, copyright, trademark, platform security, ineligible for all for let's see for the for you needs. Let me see. Minor safety, bullying, harassment. And somewhere in here, if you look on your own, somewhere in here, they have a whole thing about misogyny and all of that. Seeing if I can find it. And I'm like, who determines what the misogyny is? You know, who determines the line of misogyny or misogynoir or whatever they want to call it. But you know, no matter what they say or no matter what kind of rules they come up with in these SJW extremely or woke platforms and society that we in now, you know, where's the misandry? You know, where is the thing the backlash, or where is the punishment for the hatred of men? You know, it's another one way thing. Like I said before, you can hate and do whatever you want to a man. You can do all of that, but you can't do anything back. You know, you cannot do anything back. And if you do anything back, then all of a sudden it's something that warrants some kind of rule change. This is what it is. This is the time. That's the reason why. This is the reason why independent media is so important. Because the mainstream is just going to go with whoever is in control, and we all know who is in control of mainstream media. Women. Women are the ones in control. So women are the one that's going to set the pace and set the tone and the atmosphere for what's going on out in these streets. That's why I laugh at how all of a sudden women and black women and are wanting to help black men with their image and so worried about what's going on with black men, but they're the ones that make the love and hip hops. They're the ones that make power. They're the ones that make um empire. They're the ones that put out the continuously flood these images of black men in the media, and then to make a buck, just to turn around and say, well, why are black men being shown like this? Because you're the one pulling the trigger on it. You guys got to realize that no matter who is in office, no matter who, whether they're left or right, there are, a little bit of your freedom is getting taken all the time. People just are too lazy to pay attention to it. They're too lazy to read. They're too lazy to do anything outside of what the trending things are. They're just that's just the way the social programming is. And if you take a step back from being triggered by everything, if you take a step back from being upset or trying to be a SJW, or just take a step back from this overly sensitive, overly hype world that we live in, pay attention and you'll see that they're trying to take away a little bit of your right your rights all the time. And it's up to you, if you want to keep the ones you have. It's up to you if you want to live by the by in this Rudy proof Fruit Loop kind of world that they're trying to make for everybody in order to make people happy and ultimately sell you more stuff, because that's what they're going to do. That's what this world is made for. It's made for you to feel like you never have enough, so you can always buy more. And how can you always buy more when you got stern people sitting behind you telling you that that's not the way to go? Because in all in reality, Not saying that women aren't rational, not saying that women aren't level thinking, but men are more strategical and straightforward thinking. Women think more about with their feelings and emotions. That's why these government and these entities are able to pull at their heartstrings in the manner they do and to get them to spend more money. That's just the way it is. And it's got so bad that if you try to tell them or you try to tell somebody that, then all of a sudden you're the bad guy again, and then we're right at each other's necks again. Let me see. Want that right there. You guys, it is what it is. This is free. The free speech is under attack. And I know they can say all the time that it's not under attack, and that everybody can say what they want to say. But there are consequences. No, no, I'm going to argue. I'm going to argue that that's not the case. I'm going to argue that there is an attack on speech if it goes against the mainstream view. It's no war against speech if you're saying what they want you to say. That's how you have a woman like Ketanji Harris get up in front of the world, in front of the United States and the world, and be asked if she knew what a woman was, and then act completely and utterly oblivious to what a woman was. When mainstream media has that much power on people to scare them out of being able to speak their mind and how they feel, it's a problem. It's a problem. But that's what they want. They want you, they want you to be scared of being able to talk freely. Not saying it's not hate, saying what how you feel, out, not in a manner of you trying to hurt somebody is not hate. But they have so many people wrapped up in this politically correct world, in this politically correct bubble that they want everybody to be in, that they're too afraid to speak their mind, and they're too afraid to just tell what's right. Sometimes there is a thing that's right or wrong. Everything's not gray. They want to keep it in that gray area. They want everything ambiguous, so nobody will be able to tell a person whether they're right or wrong. Nobody will be able to say, look, that's not the best thing to do. This is a little bit of this is what we think, or they're not. There won't be a way to make a moral standard. There will never be a way to put a moral standard when everybody's operating in ambiguity. It goes to everything. It goes to how we walk in this world, how we talk, how people treat themselves and their bodies. You know, and then and you can try to tell a woman that that she's the things or the way she's treating herself isn't the best way to treat herself, and see what'll happen. See what'll happen if you try to explain to a woman that having indiscriminate reckless sex is bad, not too good for her health, and see what happens to you. Hey Bells, how you doing? It is emotionally charged. We are in an emotionally charged society. We are, and that's not good. And you'll often hear people when that happens and this stuff start happens, you often see people say, and people will get upset and they'll say, well, that's why women don't need to lead. And I don't, and I'm not saying that is the truth. I'm saying that is the ammunition that is used because women are usually more emotional. You'll get women will spend their women will spend their whole checks and give money to reckless women that get stuck in places they're not supposed to be in. They get themselves in trouble, and who will bail them out in a GoFundMe? Who will bail women out in a GoFundMe when they get themselves in stupid situations? It's usually another woman that will bail them out in those situations, not men, because men, there's nobody to help men. You know, men know this. Men know that when we do stupid stuff or we do ignorant things, there's nobody waiting in the rafters to give us to give us a boost. You know, our parents usually even give us a hard time when we ask them when we're at a certain age. They don't want to give us anything because we're grown adults, but not women. You got 30, 40 women, year old women giving GoFundMe's, you know, for trying to go thought themselves out and get stuck places. You see it all the time. You know, irresponsible women having kids, you know, having kids that they can't take care of and then still getting bailed out. You know, that's what it is. But we can't say anything about it. We can't say anything about it. We can't talk about it. We can't do anything about it because then what? We're misogynists. We're hating. We're hateful. We're the main men in the society, and we should just sit down and know our roles, and then let everybody operate in the manner that they want to operate, and then let the chips fall as they may. But then, like I said, they'll get bailed out. It's nuts out here. You should be able to say what you want to say without people flagging your accounts. You know, if you're not threatening anybody, you're not threatening to harm anybody, you know, or delete anybody, you should be able to say what you want to say and be fine with that. If you don't like what somebody's saying, leave them alone. Leave them alone. And the other thing is with that too, and in our case, in this community of content creators, it's usually some of us, some of the skin folk that are doing the harassing and the canceling. It's not the other people. It's not the white people. It's not the Asian people. It's usually more than likely it's one of the people that look like you. That's got to stop. That's got to stop. There's people out here in the world have a hard enough time now, but now then you have to deal with one of us doing this stuff to each other. Let people live. Let people do what they want to do. If they're not hurting you or threatening you, let it be. You know, leave them alone. Don't go on their channels and then get yourself upset because you don't like the stuff that they're saying and that the viewpoints that they have. You know, and especially if you're not the type or a type of person that can have civil discourse, leave those people alone. But in the end of the day, you guys need to understand that this beast that we're dealing with is nothing to take lightly. You know, just pay attention to how everybody has to walk on eggshells when they're talking about certain things, but everybody can call you the N word. Everybody can say what they want to say about you. Everybody can, you know, men can get hit upside the head, you know, and not supposed to say anything. Pay attention to the way this thing is going out here. Pay attention. Stop get out of the TV a little bit and just start thinking about stuff. Read a little bit. Read a little bit. Read your book. Understand what's going on. Understand the changes that are happening, and understand that look, it's too many freedoms and there's too many things that ancestors have went through and gone through for you just to give them all up just for a little just for some artificial peace and artificial safe spaces. I guarantee you'll regret giving all your freedom away for that little safety. But like I always tell you guys, what do I know? I'm just a guy with a mic and a YouTube channel. All right, guys, man. I'm gonna get out of here. It's getting pretty late. I'm gonna go. I've been talking to you. I'm gonna go watch something, watch a little something else on TV before I go to bed. I appreciate you guys coming out. Bells, thank you for your contribution. I'll see you guys in the next video and live stream. You guys have a good night. Peace.